Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Um, I have a lot of things on the mind today that I just want to speak about to get the minds going and brewing. So, different like forms of government have been on my mind for a while, but more so lately, and understanding different forms of government. There's so many. There's so many. I'll put screen caps and some videos just in this little section so you can kind of get an idea of what I'll be talking about. The reason why I'm bringing this all in is because I really feel like the ways that we form governments with our societies and our world um, are changing. They will be changing over the next periods of time, years and years it's going to take to shift from the system that we've been in into something more cohesive for everybody. So, and this just ties also in with religion as well, because I do feel there is an ushering in a wave for God to be made like focal again. There's definitely a wave of making God top again, or making God our devotional purpose. And this is going to be clashing heads with particular people and their cultural belief systems. We have a lot more pagan type of influences and such making way and popping up and surfacing these days. And I see so much of it. I'm just observing and witnessing a lot, and have for a while, and just so much is coming into my awareness regarding religion, forms of governing, the ways that we devote, what we devote to, and how we are organizing ourselves as a society, and how God can weave in the orchestration in a way, and how that can be done, as well as worshiping and devoting to other gods or deities that aren't, Christ, but other forms of gods that are not promoting the highest for every single person on this planet, but only for those that give devotion to them. So I feel like there's this like big wave of people wanting to claim religious freedom and break away from the systems that have had them stuck in a box, that have stifled them, that have been siphoning off their life force, keeping their divinity small and limited, and feeding off of that in some type of way, shape, or form. There's a big need for people to find autonomy and sovereignty within themselves. That's a big thing right now. That's why we do have had so many people turning away from God, or Christ, Jesus, whatever, because we've had this huge movement of really corrupt religion, and a lot of people have suffered at the hands of the church. A lot of people have seen a lot of corruption in the church. So they associate the church with Christ, they associate the church with Jesus. Therefore, they're like, I'm turning it all away, and I'm going to go over here to these gods that, are a little more rebellious, a little more in with the earthly needs and not just with the spirit. I'll go into more in that in the future, though, if we want a video on that. But I want to bring in a form of governing that comes from the Gene Keys model. If you don't know about Gene Keys, it's a form of human design that's extremely intricate. I am not nearly studied in it. I have not done any deep delves or dives. Only looking at my own and a couple of my friends and other people and learning about it is very deep study with human design, and it unravels a lot. So I definitely suggest you looking up your Gene Keys profile online. You can get it for free, and it will show you all of your human design in the way of Gene Keys. So something in Gene Keys that is talked about as like a form of government versus hierarchy is Synarchy, which is more focused around. Synarchy would be more focused around a cohesive, co-weaving group, like a synergistic system where there is no hierarchy or monarchy type of situation. It is more we all have a role and no role is above one or another. And I'm pretty sure the like exact definition of a synarchy is government that is ruled by two parties or more. So it's really unified in a way. It's not just one perspective or side, but we have a group or a council that is like representing everything. And this is always how I've thought ever since I was little. I was like, why don't we have, there should be a group of presidents that represent every type of class or race, or someone to represent everyone and speak so that everyone's needs are being met and seen and discussed, versus just one mind and one perspective feeding their people. It will be a group of everyone talking, discussing, and it would take hours, of course, to come down to the final calls and decisions that would actually be the best thing for every single person. Of course, that's going to take a lot of time and days of debating and discussing and really getting down to the wire of what would be most helpful and unified for everyone, not just one, not just some, but everyone. So I really think the concept of a synarchy is something that people should familiarize themselves with and look at systems that operate with that type of model, the synarchy model, and see the success rate, see where people are becoming more aware and conscious of authority and power dynamics and how we can weave them properly. And I think this ties in with religion as well because, we do have different cultures and religions. And although we may have like a highest source that is all for all of us, and that's the most high. That's what I think of as the most high is source, creation, life. It's supporting of all life and love of every single person on this planet. And then you have like the lower gods that are like sub gods that serve other things in other realms. And this is so important to discuss because we're all different. We're all working within different spheres and scopes and realms of life, and we're not always going to be on the same page. And that's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be working in our arenas, and sometimes we can travel to the other arenas, but to force others out of their arenas into another arena that they're not necessarily wanting to, it's cutting off the piece of their naturalness, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not getting too airy-fairy here with my words, but I think it's really important to respect other cultures, other religions, and if some people worship other gods or other deities for their practice and it's not harming others, I think we should just let people do what they need to do to feel they are having a connection with their highest self, whatever that brings in. And of course, that's for me, source. I go right to source. But there are other gods, deities that commune with me and speak with me and throw in their 2 cents on what they want to do. But at the end of the day, I know there is an oversight above them to go to because that power is just stronger. It's more bright. It's more longevity. It's just life completely. So yeah, this is just to bring in some more weaving, planting some more seeds here on how we can become more unionized and understanding different forms of government. So yeah, I'll stick those screen caps in here so that you can see and, piggyback off this, questions, important discussions, stardom, all the things. We're here to do this together, and it's going to happen by having these discussions together.